let me ask you something. What if there was a financial network that moves billions of dollars all over the globe, but without any banks, without any wires, and without a single dollar bill ever actually crossing a border? It's this ancient system built on just one simple idea. But get this, it has some wild connections to our digital future. I mean, really think about it for a second. Is it even possible to send money from one continent to another almost instantly without using the massive, complex banking system we all rely on every day? It sounds kind of impossible, right?
Well, for millions of people, it's not only possible, it's just how things get done every single day. The system they use operates on a completely different set of principles, and it basically flips what we think we know about finance on its head.
So, what we're diving into here is this huge, informal, and honestly, for most of us, totally invisible money network. It's been operating for centuries, and it goes by one name. And that name is Hawala. The word itself is literally the key to the whole thing. In Arabic, Hawala means trust or transfer. And that one single concept, trust, is the absolute bedrock this entire global network is built on. Okay, so how on earth does a system based on just trust move money around the world without, actually moving any money? Let's just walk through a simple real-world example. It's actually way more clever and elegant than you might think. All right, to really see how it works, let's meet our cast of characters. First up, you've got Ahmed in country A, and he wants to send $1,000 over to Fatima in country B. The real key players here, though, are the brokers in each country. They're called Hawaladars, and they're the trusted middlemen in this whole operation. Okay, so here's how it goes down. Ahmed goes to his local Hawaladar, gives him the $1,000 and a super simple password, say ABCXY. That Hawaladar then just picks up the phone and calls his counterpart in Fatima's country and relays the details. Meanwhile, Ahmed calls Fatima and gives her the password. All she has to do is walk over to her Hawaladar, say the password, and boom, she gets the cash. We're talking minutes sometimes. And here's the magic trick, no money ever crossed a border. The Hawaladars just have a running IOU between them. They'll settle up their books way later, maybe through other transactions or even by trading goods. So the big question is, what stops a Hawaladar from just taking the money and running? I mean, there are no legal contracts, no government watching over them. The whole system is built on something else entirely, not laws, but a really powerful unwritten code. And yeah, it really all boils down to this one powerful idea. This entire massive network connecting thousands of brokers all over the world is held together by, well, basically a handshake. It's all about mutual trust and an honor code. This trust isn't just a nice idea. It's enforced by some serious social pressure. Your word is everything. If you break that trust, you're not going to jail. No, you face something that in these communities can be way worse. You lose face. You're immediately kicked out of the network. Your reputation is toast and your business is gone. And you have to remember, these Hawaladars aren't some shadowy figures. They're often just regular folks, shop owners or travel agents doing this on the side. And what's the payoff for a system built purely on trust? Pure efficiency. I mean, think about it. No fancy office buildings, no compliance departments. The overhead is crazy low. That means the fees can be incredibly cheap, sometimes as low as 0.5%. That is way cheaper than what you'd pay a big bank for an international wire transfer. But, of course, a system that's this informal, this fast, and this anonymous, well, there's got to be a catch, right? There's a darker side. The exact same things that make Hawala so incredibly useful are also what make it potentially really dangerous. Anonymity is the classic double-edged sword. On one hand, it's a total lifeline. It helps migrant workers send money back home to their families, or it lets aid organizations get funds into a disaster zone super fast when all the banks are down. But then there's the other side. That total lack of a paper trail, it makes it a perfect tool for criminals who want to launder money or fund illegal stuff, completely off the grid and away from the eyes of regulators. And because of that potential for misuse, you can bet that governments are pretty nervous about it. In some places, like India, just being part of an informal Hawala network is actually a criminal offense. Why? Because it operates completely outside of the official, regulated channels, which makes it nearly impossible for authorities to track the money or to tax it. And that tension, right there, between freedom and control, that's a huge part of the Hawala story. This whole tension, it's not new, not at all. In fact, this ancient system has a pretty surprising and powerful echo in our digital future. It's this wild connection between the old Silk Road and the new virtual worlds we're building right now. Hawala isn't some modern invention. It's one of the OG global financial networks. We're talking dating back to the 8th century. It helped merchants settle their accounts all along the Silk Road, and it's managed to adapt and survive for over 1,000 years just by being flexible and efficient. So that just leaves one question, right? What comes next?
And that really gets you thinking. If Hawala was the network of trust for the physical Silk Road, what kind of trust network are we going to need for the next one, the digital one?
The common thread through all of this is the need for a network of value. Hawala is basically a person-to-person protocol for moving money, and the whole thing is secured by human trust and reputation. Well, the metaverse is shaping up to be the next big arena for exchanging digital value. And guess what? It's going to need its own system of trust, too.
So, the new frontier, it isn't about trading spices and silk anymore. It's about digital assets. We're talking things like virtual land or one-of-a-kind digital items. This is all made possible by cryptography, which, when you think about it, is really just a form of digital trust. It uses math to make sure transactions are secure. Then you have tokenization, which is just a fancy way of saying you can turn almost any asset into a unique digital token that you can buy and sell. It's a whole new kind of value, and it needs a whole new kind of network.
So it leaves us with this really fascinating question, right? As we're busy building these super complex digital world with all this code and cryptography, are we just, in a way, reinventing a very ancient system on a new frontier? Is it possible that the future of finance is less about these giant institutions and more about a simple, powerful return to networks built on trust?